good evening, good morning, good night, you lovelies. It is the one, the only Cappy D Bar, and we are here to talk about the best story of all time. One Piece! Chapter 1174. Hope all of you are having a great one. However you were catching this, whenever you were catching this. This chapter left me jaw-dropped. It left me stunned, and it left me honestly in shell shock. I'm shell shocked from this chapter. And you know what's so funny? I made a brief comment right to my old lady. You know, we spent a very nice Valentine's Day together. It was simply on the cover stories that Oda picks, right? He'll do fan requests and he'll pick some of the silliest, most like insane things you could think of, right? And then in my mind I'm like, bro, why can't we get something tough? Why can't we get something like hardcore? Why can't we get something fire? And then we get Roger taming a dinosaur like it's a pet. That shit was so cold. This is literally like a poster. This is a poster. Like, this should be going up on somebody's wall in the next 2 days, bro. This is such a fire image. It's so fire. This with color on it. Oh my god. Oh, with a little bit of like texture grading, bro. This was such a hardcover image. And honestly, we are starting off this we're starting off this chapter with a bang, all right? The title is Strongest in the World, clearly alluding to somebody in this chapter that we will not name yet, all right? But, all right, it is crazy what they'll do in this chapter, okay? It's not a lot, but it is a good amount, right? Sommers is like really comedically like freaking out about the, you know, destroyed ship along with the sea clouds around the ship. And essentially, even if they got a new ship or if they're manifested a brand new ship, they still can't sail off. So they're all trapped there, and they already discussed that they can't go back to the Pentagon because some weird kind, like, and they already decided that they can't go back to, you know, the portal in King Harold's castle because some weird plot inconvenience or something like that. So they're just stuck. They're stuck on this bay. It is St. Somers. It is Killingham, along with Gunko, right? And it is it's a tough battle, all right? Because all of the giants are fully revved up, and we know that the Straw Hats are on their way, all right? Somers, he is like, again, he's freaking the fuck out about this. Again, it's kind of comedic because he was so ready for everything to like go his way, and then nothing goes his way, and he just turned into a fucking floundering fish. It's very comedical. But he comes to the decision that, you know, whatever happens, it's kind of Emu's fault because Emu sent them on this mission. And, you know, Emu wants to recruit the Giants, which is like historically always been a bad idea. So Somers has some points, but realistically, he's probably going to get packed up, right? Ja Rule's speech, Ja Rule, right? And let's always get to hear from Ja Rule.
Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous.
Ja Rule's speech seems to have really revved up some of the Giants' engines, being that Oimo, you know, from the famous duel Omo and Kashi, Water 7, if you know, you know, right? He tries to snatch up his granddaughter, but it fails, right? So he just ends up impaling his arms. And slowly after this, Somers just starts to find extreme comedy in all of this, right? Just as I was laughing at Somers trying to, like, you know, run around and get answers for his shit being destroyed and being trapped on an island with a bunch of giants, he quite literally starts taking tears to his eyes with the levels of how entertained he is by the giants trying to do everything they can to save the kids, right? The kids are walking towards a pier, and again, if the you know, boats are destroyed and there are no sea clouds, then the kids can't walk on anything. There's nothing there, right? So realistically, they're just gonna hit a cliffside in the underworld where somebody and a collective of other people are arriving. No spoilers, though, we'll get to when we get to it. I loved the idea of Ripley and all the other giants really doing everything they can to save the kids. I thought that was beautiful, you know, from Ainge all the way to, you know, Roto. It was just nice. It was really nice. Everybody made a sacrifice to save the future of Elbaf, right? And that's really what Harold was fighting for the whole time, right? The future of Elbaf, right? The Holy Knights decide that, you know, if it's a bunch of kids that die, that's fine, because they could just take more kids and figure it out another day. They really do think that they got this shit on lock, and it's like, you know, all kudos to them. All kudos to them. But we're going to be getting to something very shortly that is going to honestly stop all of that shit. It's going to stop all of that shit. kids and the parents have this really touching moment. You know, the kids are thinking about their childhood. You know, they're apologizing for all the times that they were rude, all the times that they were disrespectful, all the times that they didn't appreciate their moms, right? And I do think that this is a really cool chapter to release on the week of Valentine's Day, because happy happy belated Valentine's Day to all of you guys. You know, I didn't really say that, but the point of Valentine's Day is to show love. You know, not only to your romantic partner, but to community, the people around you, right? So I think it was really cool that we got this really touching sacrifice from all of the parental figures in the island. I really liked what we got as the saving grace for this, right? The kids, they're impaling all the parents are falling off along with all the kids, being that, again, nothing stopping them, right? And as all of the parents and all of the children, impaled by the thorns, descent down into the underworld, right? They get saved by Luffy in a giant stretchy form. All of the giants, on all of the kids. Really listen to me what I'm saying here. All of the giants and all of the giant children get saved by Luffy. Luffy. Human-sized Luffy. Then we see that the drums of liberation are rocking the entire nation of Elbaf. The entire nation of Elbaf. Initially, I really did think that the squirrel was dancing to the drums of liberation. I feel like this only follows this theory, because we see from the Harley text, right, that there is some mention of a great beast, a great sun god, right, and that there is some kind of idea of Nika. Now, you can't not know Nika and not know that little Nika dance. The Nika dance is to the drums of liberation. I hope I'm making sense here. So if the squirrel was doing some kind of dance in this land with all of these myths and all of these prophecies, can it be impossible that the squirrel was just simply dancing to the drums of Nika unbeknownst to us, right? That is quite literally, right, that is quite literally what we've seen with Kuma, what we've seen with Kizaru. Is it impossible? I don't think so, folks. I don't think so. I think the possibility of Loki and Luffy both carrying the drums of liberation in their fruit, right? Just due to the protector nature, or maybe even the just the divine kind of mythical nature of their fruit. I don't think that that's outside the realm of possibilities. And I really do believe that if we start to get a drums of liberation with one other character, maybe a Blackbeard, we could be dealing with a completely different playing field for the end game, right? A lot of people would be against a Blackbeard and Luffy team up, but I'm gonna be honest, everybody, if we do get a confirmation that other devil fruits with the same importance of Luffy's devil fruit can carry the drums of liberation, we are going to see a lot of Blackbeard hype. Because who else but Blackbeard can carry those drums, right? And understandably, they're of liberation, right? So maybe you want to give them somebody who's actually a liberator. But again, that's kind of the dichotomy with Nika and the Nika figure. Is he a god of destruction, right? Is he a god of, death, more or less? Is he a god of freedom, right? Is he a god of the light? Is he a god of the sun? These are all questions that we need answered. And I think if we start to get a little bit more understanding to what the drums of liberation are exactly and who can hold them, I think we're going to open the floodgates to everything that we need to know for the end game. And that's just my personal little diatribe on it. I loved Loki's design. Loki looks like a fucking beast. Loki is massive. He is quite literally like a colossal he is quite literally like a colossal wyvern, right? Now, a lot of people are taking the word dragon. I don't really think that Loki's a dragon. I know this sounds a little crazy, but historically, there are cases of wyverns being larger than dragons, right? There are even some dragons in D&D, right? Where dragons, they grow to a certain size, like gargantuan, and then they just turn into wyverns, right? Now, that's not for every race. That's, very, that's very, all right, that's a very You know, it only happens here and there, but it could make an argument for Loki and his devil fruit being a wyvern, right? Which is a type of dragon, but it's more like a lizard than a dragon. And honestly, if we're gonna do dragon, which is fine, I only think that a dragon would have to match maybe a Momo or a Kaido, and this doesn't look like a Momo or a Kaido design. This looks like something completely different, completely left field, and I really do believe that we are looking at a colossal, ancient, mythical wyvern, right? And again, if you guys don't know what that is, understandable, it's really nerdy, but it really could be what we're looking at aside from, just Black Dragon. Some people are also throwing a Needhog, right? But Needhog isn't a dragon. Needhog is kind of a serpent. So it's complicated. It's complicated. It's a lot of ways you can cut the cake, but a lot of people seem to be very, very entertained by this. And I'm one of them, to be honest with you. This is an amazing fucking panel. And realistically, Emu is going to have to match this size somehow, some way. So the double pages from now on are going to be fucking nuts, bro. They're going to be crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, oh, what a crazy chapter. What an insanely good chapter. And even the small speech, all right, that we get from Ja Rule, it is like chills. Like it genuinely gives me chills, right? He says, what is that beat? All of Elbaf is shaking. And then he takes into consideration the prophecy. On a curious day when thunder and snow both flurry, a giant beast shall appear and blot out the skies. The drums of liberation will boom out. And we get the most insane double spread I think I've ever seen right next to the Harley text. It dwarfs the Nightmare Demons. That dwarf the giants. And Luffy is a third of Loki's horn. Meaning that this gargantuan colossal size that Loki has grown to, taller than the things that dwarf giants. We have to keep putting this shit in scale. It's insane what the fuck we're looking at. Luffy is damn near on par with that. And if you remember, maybe it was chapter 1154, maybe even like chapter 60, like somewhere between 1150 and 1162. Loki, all right, he dodged a punch from Luffy, chained up, and Luffy was all about Luffy was all about that action. So now we gotta start putting it into context. Can Luffy just start boxing with Loki if come necessary? Is that what we about to watch? Like if Loki just starts crashing, most likely it's not gonna happen, but we gotta understand what we're looking at, right? Luffy was on business with Loki with the size difference already being what it was. And now Loki is gargantuan. He's beyond gargantuan, right? Because I guess gargantuan would be the size of the Nightmare Demons, the MMAs. And Luffy is somewhere in scale with that. The scales that we have moved to with this anime, with the scales that we have moved to with this manga is insane. In 2 years time, or maybe even like a year's time, maybe like 2 or so years time, the Elbaf arc is going to be one of the best arcs in anime history. And I'm stamping that shit right now. If Toei does what they need to do with this Loki design, if we get enough good moments from the rest of the Straw Hats to really, flesh out the rest of this arc, we're talking about great eats. We're talking about Dressrosa level eats right here. Man, this is such a crazy fucking chapter. And even going back to the Harley text, right? Because I did mention it. The Harley text, it depicts a large, insane dragon. Now, when you really break that down, who could have the dragon been fighting, right? Now, the dragon had a massive red line on it. People assume that that's like a serpent or something like that. Realistically, that could be like Emu's final form, or it could be like Blackbeard's like endgame form. Who knows? Who cares, right? But what I'm getting to is this depiction of a large wyvern dragon winged creature. We've already seen it. We've already seen it. So now, does that mean that eventually Emu is going to grow to this massive kaiju size, right? Is that something that we should be expecting? Is it possible that the first shades of the Harley text happen right now, right here, right? Maybe not everything is fleshed out, with the Tontatas, right? With the samurais from Wano, right? Or with everything that is actually there, but just a very rough, a very soft first draft, a very soft prelude to what we will be getting during the end game, right? This chapter, it really just fires off on all cylinders. My neurons are a flurry. I don't know if you guys can realize, but I'm a little caffeinated, all right? I gotta wrap this up somehow, but this was a great chapter, from the sacrifices to the parents to this fucking bone-chilling prophecy that involves not only the drums of liberation but Loki's form, like alluding to it in all of its but alluding to it in all of its entirety and all of its like mass, its scale. It blots out the sun, and it's, oh man. Okay, I guess my last little things that I'll get to is that there is a break next week, right? So we will not be talking about One Piece for a little bit, but some small to leave you guys with, right? My predictions for the Emu fight are going to be as follows, right? The Holy Knights are going to get packed, okay? I think Killingham might have the best showing, because I think somewhere in there he's part fishman, so whatever kind of cheese they try to pull with his devil fruit probably won't work to the full extent that it needs to work, right? That's my little theory on that. Gunko is probably going to get a little packed up from Loki, not all the way packed up, a little something, a couple, definitely a scratch to go home with. Emu's definitely gonna recognize the drums of liberation, crash the fuck out. That should be fun. That should be a good little lore dump. And we're going to get multiple upon multiple double page spreads, being that Loki is the size of maybe the entirety of Elbaf, maybe like literally how Bajron Gun was the entire size of Onigashima. I really do believe that Loki might just be the whole size of Elbaf now, the whole size of it. Wow. They also had really nice banter as they were coming up. Like basically Loki was just being like, yo, I'm not a fucking cab. You're getting off of me. I'm a god of destruction. I am the sun god. And Luffy's just like, hey, you guys all right? You guys hungry? How are you guys feeling about everything? It was very funny. This is a very entertaining chapter. Very entertaining chapter. But I mean, this is everything for me. All right, it's me, your boy Cappy. All right, that was my official review for 1174 One Piece. All right, again, there's a break next week, so unfortunately, I will not be seeing any of you beautiful people for next week. But I do have a lot of other things in store. So as I always say, you all stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful. Peace.